Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in to my channel. In this video, I will review the Cinestill 800T film stock from the perspective of a beginner film photographer. That's me. So this is a disclaimer that I've only recently taken up photography, film photography, and the quality of my photos will probably reflect that. If you're an experienced film photographer in general, don't hesitate to give me any tips in the comments. I'm still learning. Any feedback is appreciated. That being said, I figured that a beginner's perspective might actually be a useful one for other beginner photographers out there or casual photographers who have not yet tried this very unique film stock and have been tempted to do so. So I went out and I bought 2 rolls of this film stock to really test it and try it out in different situations before I could give you my thoughts, impressions, and a couple of tips that I learned along the way. So the camera that I used for this was my Minolta X700, and I barely edited any of these photos, which might actually be useful for you to see what the photos look like once developed. This is also my very first YouTube video, so I welcome any feedback, and hopefully the production value of these will improve along the way, so don't hesitate to let me know if you liked it, found it useful, and if you'd like to see anything else from me going forward. So enough about me, and let's get to the real star of this video, which is the Cinestill 800T film stock. First things first, it's a 35mm high-speed color negative film stock. It has an ISO of 800, so it's designed for low light situation, and it is tungsten balanced. That's what the T in the name stands for. So what does that mean? Tungsten light is a warm artificial light, which is why this film does great with neon signs, for example. It is definitely a staple for nighttime urban photography, but I wanted to see how it would behave in other scenarios too, so I also tried some photos at dusk, for example. The cool thing about this film stock is that it is originally a motion picture film. It's been repurposed for still pictures, therefore it has this very characteristic, unique cinematic feel to it. One of the most recognizable features of this film stock is that it has a slight halation effect, that is a red glow on the overexposed light sources in your photos, which adds to the film's strong character. It is sometimes a little controversial, some people enjoy this, some people do not, but if you know how to work it, you might actually end up with a very cool result. So for the first roll that I bought, I went to Grand Boulevard, which is an area pretty busy at night. It has many theaters, it has many neon signs, so it's a perfect area to test out this film stock. At this point, I also tried making some videos of my surroundings on my phone, just to give you an idea of what the actual conditions were like. And as you can see, some of these photos are also a complete fail, but I wanted to include them anyway to give you an idea of what could go wrong with this film stock or with night photography in general, because it is pretty tough. On a side note, I was also very pleased with the camera's light meter. This was my very first time shooting at night, and with the limited experience that I have, I would probably have failed metering for light if I did it by myself. For the second roll, I tried out something a little different, and I took my camera to a protest which was happening in Paris. I loaded the film a little early so that I could see what the shots would look like at dusk. So can you shoot this film in daylight? Because yes, it has 36 exposures and isn't necessarily on the cheapest side, so you might not want to speed run it in one night like I did. And the answer is yes, you absolutely can shoot this film in daylight. The film actually would have a very cold undertone leaning towards bluish green, but according to the Cinestill website, it can be post-processed up to 3200 ISO, and an 85 filter is recommended, and or shooting the film at 400 or 500 ISO in daylight. I actually wish I knew this before, because some of the pictures I took at dusk were very cool, but the colors had a strange offset that I didn't really like, and next time I will definitely try that out. I figured that the people at the march would have some of those colorful smoke bombs and thought it might look pretty neat on this specific film. I wasn't wrong, there was a lot of red smoke all over the place, so I was super excited to get the film developed and see the results. But when I returned to the lab, I chatted with the employee for a moment, and he actually brought up that those color smoke bombs are not tungsten light, they are a natural light source. And so the red smoke, he said, might actually come out as green. So this actually made me a little nervous. It's something I hadn't thought about, and so I went home and I was just hoping patiently that at least one of my photos would turn out nice. And I was actually pretty surprised by the result. Here you can see that the smoke actually did turn out red. So low light situation says low shutter speed, which was a little rough for me seeing that my camera is handheld and I didn't have a tripod. This is why some of the shots I took are a little shaky and less sharp. I ended up using anything I could find around me, like benches, to stabilize my elbows, especially when I wanted to take a picture that required a particularly low shutter speed. At some points, I was literally using my ribs to stabilize my elbow and my forehead to stabilize the camera as much as I could, and I was surprised that some of the pictures turned out fine. So if you don't have shaky hands, you will be just fine. It also helped a lot that my Minolta has an aperture priority mode, so I really didn't have to pay any mind to setting the shutter speed. All I did was set my aperture, set my focus, and the camera took care of the rest. So this film stock has a very strong character, and you can end up making some beautiful cinematic shots. Once you've used this film a couple times, you tend to be able to recognize when this film has been used in a photograph by somebody else because of how unique it is. And a great bonus is that the Cinestill 800 is not limited to low light photography. So if used correctly, it becomes an extremely versatile film stock for any kind of situation. So thank you very much for watching this video to the end. If you did enjoy it or found it useful at all, please let me know down in the comments or just simply click the like button so that I know how I'm doing. And I will be reviewing more different film stocks that I enjoy shooting and making other photography related content. If you liked any of my photos, you're also welcome to follow me on Instagram, and I hope that I will be getting better along the way, and hopefully this channel will also reflect this. Thanks again, and hopefully see you next time. Bye-bye.